Invest 97L and 98L, very close to being tropical depressions. We are now at 70% for disturbance 1 and 90% for disturbance 2. That's right. Welcome back, everybody. August 18th, 2020, 5:48 p.m. And once again, the 5 p.m. National Hurricane Center update has come out, and we are tracking still 97L. Invest 97L now inside the Leeward and Lesser Antilles Islands, and 98L on its heels to the west. We do have an uptick from yesterday as disturbance number 1, which is 97L, is now at 70% chance of cyclone formation and 30% chance in the next 48 hours. Now disturbance number 2, which is 98L, is now 90% chance through the next 5 days, 48 hours, 80%. That is very important to look at. If you look at the bottom of this box, it says formation chance through 48 hours is very high. So disturbance number 2, Invest 98L, chances are will become a tropical depression and or a tropical storm before this one. So you may see Lauren here and then Marco if they both form. I know there's some confusion about names that are in front or at least to the east of the next name coming. It depends on which storm becomes a tropical storm first, and it looks like disturbance number 2 here, 98L, is forming a little bit quicker than we have with disturbance number 1. I'm going to take a look at each of these invests and then the projected paths as far as the information that came out at 5 p.m. So once again, here is 97L, and we're going to look at how we see 98L with a little bit more of a progression as far as the formation of the storm goes, as opposed to 97L, which is still trying to gain its momentum after passing through the Lesser Antilles and the Leeward Islands, as you can see right here where my mouse is, and then 97L is just inside there to the west. Here is a closer radar look on 97L, and we can see some formation, a little bit of the lower level clouds starting to go in that counterclockwise motion. Still a lot more time for development, but still a bit scattered, still worth being an invest. So our next step with this storm would be reaching a tropical depression. That would be a TD, as they call it in the weather world. And then taking a look at 98L, we could see there's a little bit more formation, a little bit tighter packed here, a little bit more as far as the counterclockwise spin on the lower level clouds. And then we have that center mass that kind of just blows up from the middle, and we see those black layer clouds here according to this radar chart. Sometimes it can get a bit confusing on which storm gets named first, and once again, the way they name them is whichever storm becomes a tropical storm first will be the next name on the list. So as I said, if 98L becomes a tropical storm before this system does, this one will be called Lauren, and then the next one that forms, whether it's this one or another one, which actually is coming off the west coast, will be named Marco. We got good old tropical tidbits here to show us the current and updated paths of both of these invests, both of which are now showing, at least according to the GEM model, going into the Gulf, one of them being potentially a pretty significant hurricane. Again, we don't want to make any predictions too soon, but every day, every hour that goes by is showing a little bit more strength, a little bit more organization of both of these invests. And if we take a look, we are lined up on the 18th, which is today, August 18th. We're going to watch at what both of these invests do. So you can see the first one that's ahead, 97L. It isn't as strong, but it definitely makes its way, as you can see, into the Gulf, kind of the middle Caribbean there, South Caribbean, middle Caribbean. Then we got the Gulf here, and it kind of makes its way up into that border area by Texas and Mexico. Now, if we backtrack and take a look at 98L, which is still the more significant of the two according to the data we have now, we were waiting to see if this wanted to pass over the Lesser Antilles and Leeward Islands or if it was going to follow the same path as 97L. More charts than not are showing it now going above, heading towards Puerto Rico, the northern end of Puerto Rico, and the same for Dominican Republic and Haiti, the northern area, and then we have the Bahamas and then South Florida. So check this out as a projected path. We're going to be moving into the 22nd right here, which is Saturday this weekend. This weekend will give us a lot of information about what to expect with these two storms. Until then, we just have the data to go by. But as you can see, the pressure is dropping pretty significantly at 994 by the time we pass over Puerto Rico and then over Dominican Republic into the Bahamas. So we can track it into that direction. We drop below 985. 981, and now we're looking at a pretty substantial storm, to say the least. 980 millibars in pressure as we approach the Bahamas and South Florida. Before we continue with the projected path of 98L and 97L, here is a model intensity guidance chart. This chart basically gives the different predictions on how strong the storm will be, and some of these have this storm, 97L, reaching Category 2 in strength. Now, if we compare that to what they think about 98L, we could be looking at 2 hurricanes at the same time. And it certainly would not be the first time that has ever happened. At one point in 2017, we had about 4, I know 3 for sure, 3 named storms in the Atlantic Ocean all at the same time. But we're not going to jump the gun here. Here are the model intensity guidance charts for 98L. Again, we are at least at Category 2 strength according to these predictions here, some of them reaching as far as Category 3. So 98L is being watched very closely by the National Hurricane Center and weather stations all over the world, basically, with the anticipation of a significant formation, and pretty quickly, too. As early as today, we could see 98L be named a tropical depression. It would be labeled then as a TD. I believe that would be TD number 14. We are at 14 and 15. That's our 14th and 15th tropical depression of the Atlantic hurricane season, which is unbelievable for this time of year. We are getting to that peak hurricane season, and we are starting to see a lot of similar waves coming off the west coast of Africa. With that said, I want you to take a look at the end of this chart here. So once again, 97L, 98L, and then take a look at the west side of Africa and what's on its way after these. Right there, that does not look good. That is going to be another wave. It's going to be another invest in just a matter of days, and this is what we can expect, my friends. We have the Bermuda Atlantic pressure here, and we have these giant storms coming off the west side of Africa. This is how hurricane season works, and we get into this pattern where it's wave after wave after wave. We already went through a specific wave recently. Now it's 97L, 98L, and this will be another invest. We're not going to name it yet because we don't know, but we can see clear as day that thing wants to make its way right into the Atlantic Ocean, into our warm water belt, and then make its way towards the Leeward Islands, and then in turn the U.S. We're going to use Ventu Sky here to get a better idea on the timing of these storms. And now, as you can see, the 18th is highlighted here for Tuesday. We're going to move along here, and you're going to see our Invest 97 right here, 97L, and then 98L start making its way towards the Gulf to get a better idea of when we really need to start focusing on this, especially those of you who live in the Gulf area or the east side of Florida and the southeastern states. So we are lined up on Tuesday the 18th, current time, and we're just going to go across the days that we have available to see when we should expect these storms to be really making headlines in the news, which is unfortunate because it should be happening a lot sooner. Here is Wednesday the 19th. Here is Thursday the 20th. Friday the 21st, we're starting to see that counterclockwise spin right here with Invest 97L, and clearly counterclockwise spin with 98L as it passes the Leeward and Lesser Antilles Islands. Here is Saturday the 22nd. Heavier winds. We're up to about 50-mile-per-hour winds, give or take. Now the 23rd on Sunday, a lot more formation with 98L, still counterclockwise spin. And by this time, we're really going to know whether or not 97L is going to become a named storm or a tropical depression. And here is Monday the 24th. Now we have a substantial storm in the Bahamas heading towards South Florida. Now Tuesday the 25th has this storm already passing by the southern tip of Florida, basically making a landfall, which is not guaranteed yet, but still a hurricane as it passes into the Gulf onto the west side of Florida. Finally, we have Wednesday the 26th, which brings it towards Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, as we explained in the other chart. And then the last bit of data has it already made its way into the states. And more than likely, by the time we are looking at this over the states, we're going to be dealing with a whole nother system making its way off the west coast of Africa. And once again, my friends, I know that was a lot of information to take in at once, but all important information, all stuff we need to be focused on. One last chart I have for you. We are going to set up on the 18th here and move ourselves forward. We will be talking about this hurricane out in the Pacific Ocean in another video, but take a look at what Invest 98L wants to do according to the GEM chart. We'll move forward. You can keep track of the days right here. August 19th, that would be tomorrow. Here's the 20th. Here's the 21st, 22nd. And now we're just beginning to see the front end of the storm. 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th. So This is the most current information we have on these two storms. Any updates that are significant, I will bring to you as soon as possible. If not, we will be talking in the morning and the afternoon for 2 updates per day. I will be starting that very shortly as things start to build up in the ocean. Thank you all for sticking around. I really appreciate it, and I hope everyone's having a good beginning to their week. Please stay tuned for more information and updates on these storms and any other thing that's going on around the world that is pretty important. Thank you guys so much. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.